I saw a post on Reddit that ganja.us did like cool little infographics compared how many percentage of players pulled for one banner versus the other when it comes to double banner patches and Infinity Nikki, and I honestly found the infographic to be very, very fun, and it has hit my own tastes as kind of a bit of a surprise to me. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we just like went through the whole infographic together and we tried to evaluate whether we like things before they're cool or whether we're a basic bitch? I already know the answer to which one I am, obviously, but I thought portraying it on camera would actually be pretty funny. Now, who is lazy when it comes to editing? That's right, it's me. So I figured out a weird mechanical way of doing this while recording. So excuse me, my own Nikki. Boop! This allows me the whole window up and down to show you what percentage of people pulled for this specific thing. For banners that I haven't pulled on, I will go with what I would have pulled on. So, first is 1.0, and this one is fairly easy for me. Blooming Fantasy is still in my wish list, and I don't really care about the banner of Butterfly Dream, which means if I would have pulled for the elf girl over here. What about you? Okay, here are the results. 1 point to me being a total basic bitch. Moving on. Here is the fireworks season. Ooh. There's Skyward Bouquets, which is a firework-esque ball gown. There's also Fireworks Prelude, which is the adorable short-dressed balloon girl with Hatsune Miku hair and like a little stuffed animal on her shoulder. Honestly, I haven't pulled for anything during this patch, and I wouldn't want to pull for anything during this patch. Both of these are very much not my style. That being said, if I absolutely had to take a pick, I would pick the Fireworks ball gown over the Hatsune Miku hair, because when these two outfits were running, I kind of thought that the balloon one looked a little bit as if you put a bow tie on a garbage bag. Like, sorry, but it's just, the shape of it is really weird, and the top here feels fairly uncontrolled, then it's singed, then it's just falling outwards. It's very much not my thing, so... Well, let's see how people actually pulled. Aha! I'm not a basic biche this time. I'm a hipster. I would have pulled her before she was cool. Now, mind you, that's still a D tier outfit for me, so I wouldn't have pulled in this patch whatsoever. So maybe I shouldn't give myself point. But I'm gonna give myself points for not being a basic bitch, because I can do this because I am hosting this video. Moving on. Eternal Snow versus Unfading Heart. Eternal Snow was the mermaid. Unfading Heart was the chicken butt wings. But it also allowed you to stand in like the air. Like, it allowed you to hang in the air, which a lot of people really liked for puzzles, while Eternal Snow allowed you to walk on water. Honestly, kinda not entirely sure should I have pulled for anything this patch, because I thought that I really wanted a two-piece outfit, and the mermaid was very gorgeous, but mix and matching her, incredibly hard. that being said, still don't want chicken butt wings over there. And I do have the mermaid, so 2 points to me being a hipster versus 1 point to me being a basic biche. Moving on. Hooray! I am currently not a basic biche. I'm very happy about that outcome. This is about to change so badly. 1.8. Dunking season. We have Inkwoven Bonds, which kind of feels a more neutral to maybe a more masculine or maybe just like a more constrained and covered fit. And she came with a very nice teleporty dragon. Unfortunately, you can only fly it in the Dunking Island region. And then there was a Palette Destiny, which was a sexy kitty outfit with a gorgeous, gorgeous coat. If I had the pulse, I would have gotten both. Considering that I didn't have the pulse, I would really have to think about getting Inkwoven Bonds on the rerun. It would entirely depend on whether or not I would have the pulse. Well, I hate that I don't have the final evolution of Palette of Destiny. Final evoing her is actually quite high on a priority list, so very clear which one I pulled for, and my priority still falls onto her, which means that my thoughts about this whole thing did not change. I am now a very much basic biche. It's now 2 for 2. I'm 2 for hipsters and 2 for being a complete and basic biche. Whoever one of you pulled for Inkwoven Bonds but not Palette of Destiny, rejoice. Your flavors of outfits are not in the majority, it's in the minority. Which means that you like things before they're cool. 2.0, Terra's Call. We have Eclipsing Prayers, just the Behind Prayers set. I still use her quite heavily. I most recently went into the story using her, and now actually I use her more heavily that you can switch off her effects, and I no longer have to have the giant effect circle on the final evolution. I'm very, very happy about that. And then we have Shattered Splendor, which I've seen a lot of people use because this is the only dress that you can make look quite risque because of how she dies. But to me, she looks very much like a gala dress. Eclipsing Prayers was the Sticky Claw abilities. That means that you can just like zoom through the air quite a bit in quite a few places. I'm still using that quite heavily. And Shattered Splendor was actually a pretty good archery ability, which kind of is a shame that I don't have, but at the same time I pull for aesthetics and not abilities, so yeah, I pulled for the aesthetic that I liked more, and I am now 3 for being a basic biche versus 2 for not being a basic biche. Now mind you, the percentages are quite close. We seem to all have liked both outfits. Hip hip, hooray. 2.2, Chromatic Beings Ever Bright. We have echoes of Wang Shang. I just call her the Moon Lady. It's a lot easier. Oh, we have Traces of Chroma. Traces of Chroma brought mountains on her sleeves, and Echoes of Wang Shang was sexy and mysterious and came with another off-the-shoulder code, which means that I went for the, oh yes, off-the-shoulder code. Honestly, after a lot of time has passed, I can't seamlessly incorporate her into my closet, which is a little bit of a problem. The outfit is gorgeous. I especially like the final evolution because then the dress gets a bit shorter, but wearing that on the regular for me feels awkward. However, her hair accessories and her lips especially, because she has a split lip, has definitely entered my regular items I use rotation, so I don't really regret pulling for her. And once again, Traces of Chroma had the problem of there being an effect of a whole Eureka Mountains on her sleeves. The outfit did divide into quite a few pieces, because this is a top, a bottom, and also sleeves are separate, which means that she is quite versatile for abilities. Echoes of Wang Shang allows you to collect a whole bunch of blings from like an automatic collection rages instead of actually needing to run onto them. It also allows you to change Nikki's facial expression, which a lot of people use for photography. Traces of Chroma allows you to scan for chests in the map, which is a very useful ability. However, you do this while being in this kind of centaur shape, and the whole centaur shape had a lot of problems, including just you being taken out of the ability if you're as much as too close to a nestling. So that took a while to get fixed, and it's still not quite as perfect as it could be. In other words, the ability is a bit janky. Still, I pulled for Echoes of Wang Shang versus Traces of Chroma, so I pulled for the Moon Lady, and I'm a little bit of a basic beach. Again, I have by this point entirely lost count, but we're very much into basic beach territory here. We were only not a basic beach twice so far. Moving on! Where all souls return? We have Floral Rebirth versus Evertide of No Return. Floral Rebirth is a very useful AoE bug-catching ability. Evertide of No Return is another fighty, shooty ability. I have Evertide of No Return on my alt account because I really needed help with combat during 2.5. On my main account during 2.5, I just really tortured my wrists. Having had Evertide of No Return on my alt account, I got to test out the outfit, and I'm quite happy that on my main account I went for Floral Rebirth versus Evertide of No Return, because Evertide of No Return is just not quite my style. There's two pieces of the whole outfit that I really like, which is her see-through socks and her wings. That's not enough for me to actually want the whole outfit. With Floral Rebirth, I am using her collar slash veil because it's a versatile piece quite heavily. I really like her horns and also her head accessory that like can either be asymmetric or symmetric. Even her hair can either be long or short, but I don't really use her hair. Sometimes I still use her dress. Her heels definitely entered my heel collection, and I do like her gloves and her neck accessory because it's just kind of lace, so whenever I just kind of need more lace, I put that as the like neck accessory. So I would say that she has entered my rotation quite heavily, and I'm a basic beach again. My tastes are very mainstream. Now for this one, we still don't have the full results, so it can change. And mind you, Gonjo.us is not an official site. It is where people go and log their polls willingly, rather than, you know, having it done automatically from their, well, account info, which means that it can just show bias among what kind of people register their polls pulled. But I do believe that this is a very nice window into like what players like and what don't like. At a Dream's Dawn is a very long-dressed, elegant lady with one wing pointing up, the other one pointing down. She mostly has glorious eyelashes, as that's the thing that people point at the most, and she has a rideable lion as her ability. through Songbound Night is a ballerina! What am I even standing in here? Take a guess which one I went for. If you're not new to this channel, you know. If you are new to the channel, you can see it right now. She can climb buildings, which is very obviously a ability that's catered to Heaven's Reach, and therefore is a bit less useful removed from that context, but you can still have a lot of fun taking her out of Heaven's Reach and climbing really random surfaces around the world. And I am still intending to enjoy her to the fullest when other regions release as well, especially if we have a modern region, because as you know, skyscrapers look pretty climbable to me. So I'm gonna be looking forward to that. Outside of that, in Wishfield, there aren't that many like big buildings. In Itzaland, you can climb trees, which is quite useful. In Wishfield, it's maybe the Philomena's Palace that I can think, where you can use the climbing the most. I love getting myself to places where I'm not supposed to go, so honestly I'm really enjoying the ability. Anyway, if it wasn't clear yet, my tastes definitely lean towards basic beach. That's once again, I pulled with the majority of players. So yeah, I'm a lot more mainstream than I thought, at the very least when it comes to Infinity Nikki fanbase. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but I thought that looking at Ganjo.us statistics was quite fun. So, if you want to look at that post yourself, or the comments that people left about it, the Reddit post, aforementioned Reddit post, is in the description down below. You can just like click into it. Outside of that, how have you done when it comes to your pulling tastes? Did you find yourself more mainstream than you thought you were, or is it just as you anticipated, or are you the hipster of the bunch going for the counterculture outfits that tend to be less popular with other players? Do tell me in the description down below, because I am just dying to know how I compare to the rest of you. Outside of that, thank you for spending time with me through this quite amusing video. I hope I'm gonna see you in my other videos. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters, and toodaloo for now.